Hello and welcome back to A Little Crazy, our little Birchwood Interceptor 22 project. Today I'm going to get on with the vinyling in the toilet. So first thing I've got to do is take the rest of the panelling out, take the floor up, take the frame out for the door. Then after that I'll give it a little sand in areas where I think it's a bit pimply, just to make sure it's all smooth. So I'll just go over a bit with you just to show you what I am going to do. So yes, the first thing that's going to have to be done is this frame taken out. That back panel coming out and the floor. And as I said, I'll just go over these walls just to make sure any pimples or anything on there are down, because obviously that's going to show through the vinyl. Now, I know it's hard to see in here, it's very small. This section here, which comes around past the lock and then to the edge of the door. Now, I was thinking of doing this in two sections, so i.e. do this wall first and then do the back wall. But I don't know, because you've got the join in the corner, it's a case of how good would that join be. I have got a trim I can put up there to go over that, but I'm wondering if I can do this. I mean, this wall's not very big, so I'm wondering if I can do that and that in one section. Obviously it's not going to be easy, and then if I come back out of the room back into the main room, the only place I can put the vinyl while I'm pasting it up or adhesiving it up is down there on the floor, which is obviously not a lot of area. I can't really do it in the workshop because I'll have to do it on the table, bring it right through the workshop, and then transfer it over the back of the boat, up the ladder, under the sheet, and then into here. To do that, I'm going to need to fold it anyway. So of course by the time I get in here, I think it's going to be quite a mess. It's not going to be too easy in here either, to be honest with you. I mean, that wall section in there is probably the same size as this floor in here. So I'm going to have to actually gloop it up and then be very careful, obviously not to tread on it or get it caught as I'm trying to pick it up. I should put a plastic sheet down first so it don't get glue all over the floor. But yeah, well, we'll just have to see how we go. But first thing, get these frames out and the panels and the floor out, and then give it a sand. I ran the knife down the back of that because I knew after I'd put some staining and stuff on it, it would be stuck to the wall. So rather than pulling it and have all the varnish come off, I put a knife down the back just to clear it up. Right, so the back panel is off, floor's up, and the frame's off. So now we're all clear. Okay, I'm happy with the smoothness of that. Get that a little clear out. While I've got this toilet floor up, I just mentioned the heater. Originally it was going to come through that wall from the helm down in the engine bay, but as you can see there's not a lot of room under the floor to get it in, so I've had to revise my plan on the heater. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it through this side, obviously inside that hatch there, bring it alongside underneath this step, and then out the wall just inside the toilet. Now for the one coming into the room, I may well put a vent somewhere along the bottom of that step, or put the wire piece along here and then bring it out either on the front of that or on the corner of that. There's no need to put it any further up the back of the boat. I know the bed area is up there, with the heat flowing through. They're quite powerful, those ebb spatchers, and this will heat up in no time, this boat. So just thought I'd mention that while I had the floor up. Right, now I'm going to go and look for some plastic sheeting to put down on this floor, and then I'll measure up the walls again. I have got the measurements down before, but now we're putting the vinyl on, we'll do more measurements just to make sure I've got enough to cover the areas. Right, I've put some plastic down, just cut it roughly into the shape of the floor, so that'll help me adhesive the material without getting the adhesive hopefully everywhere else. I'll pull some clamps in as well. Now the idea of these on this side will be quite easy for me. When I cut the material initially in the workshop and bring it in, what I'll do is I'll offer it up onto here, clamp it in place. I'll put a clamp on the back there, I expect, just so that it's held, and then I can take off most of the excess on the back side of it before I actually put the adhesive on. That'll make it a lot neater job. On the other walls, on the other hand, I'm not sure how to do that. just have to see how we go. But this one certainly, I'm confident that I can get it up onto the wall. But yeah, we'll just see how the other one goes and whether it's going to be done in 1 or 2 pieces. While I'm in here doing the doors, I'll just show you the vinyl. As I said in my last video, it's arrived and I'm just testing with the adhesive on a piece of hardboard there. Sorry, plywood. This one I've put on with just sticking the glue to the wood, nothing actually on this, and as you can see it's pulling off quite easy. And this has been on here a few days, although I did lift this up within 24 hours. Same with this one. This one's been on the same time. This one was adhesive on both sides, this side and that side. And as you can see, I'm pulling it and it's lifting the wood up. So that's obviously the way to go. Look, it's not lifting up. It'll take quite a bit of effort to take that up. I did find it hard when I was doing this though, because the back is quite a furry back, and as soon as you've put the adhesive on there, it does seem to dry out very quick. Well, when I'm doing a large area, which will be about the same size as that door, because that's about the size of one of the walls in there. You can imagine as I'm doing it, this is going to be drying out quite quick, so just hope that all goes well with it. I'll just show you this material that I'm using. If I can get close enough to you to see the pattern. That's called Hitch, and on the back it's got a nice furry back, and it's quite a thick material, quite strong. Because it's not rubberized, it's not going to deteriorate over the years. But yeah, this is made by Spradling, and this particular one is in a beige colour. That's for the toilet area. Let's get the cloth onto the table and I'll cut the first piece out. This material is called Hitch by a company called Spradling. Quite readily available on the net. Now, the thing is, when we measured this to see how much we needed, obviously we had all the shapes that we need measured up, and then the quantity that we needed, my son worked it out from that because he buys material quite often. I don't know what pattern he had on the material, so I could well cut it in the wrong shape and then find I've not got enough left to do another piece at the end, so just have to play it by ear. Hopefully we've got enough. We need a 1620 length. That's only 137 wide, so we've got to come downwards with it. Turn it sideways. Right, that's not quite half. That's the measurement I made of 710, which is the furthest point out. It's a little over halfway. So I think what I'll do is pop back up onto the boat, measure the other wall and see how much that is. Because as I say, I don't want to end up cutting it and then finding out there could have been a better way to cut it. Not quite sure how much I've got left on here either, to be honest. It is worrying, definitely worrying. Not just cutting it, but putting it up. It's quite an expensive material, and I do want to do it properly. But I'll go and do that measurement now and see what we get. Just been up onto the boat, measuring and re-measuring. I don't know if you can see that, but this is the drawing. This is the back panel, which goes out to the helm, and this is the side panel of that one that comes down to the door for the toilet door. And as I was talking about this join here, I was trying to do without that and do it with one panel, if I could. Can't get to that stage because of the material that we've got as it's laid out. I've got the two panels here put onto the material, and then I've taken these two measurements on the left of the material here, and I cannot get that and that out of what I've got without any joins. So the only way to do it would be to do these two panels as on the table as it sits there, and then cut this piece, which is the toilet wall, as you go into the cabin. Cut this out of this side, and then I can do that one and that one as separate panels. And that's the only way that I think I can get it out, because I can do this one and this one either side, but I can't do one of these and these together because the material's just not wide enough, if you see what I mean. So that's what I'm going to have to do. So this is going to have to be in two pieces. one for the back wall, one for the side wall where the door is. Right, it's now the next day because I took so long working this area out on this cloth that it got dark and cold, so I thought I'd start afresh the next day. So we'll cut this piece out and then move it up onto the boat. I'll do this piece first before trying to do anything else. Right, that's the first bit cut. No turning back now, I'm committed. Let's see if it fits. Right, let's see how we go. It's all cut out there. Could have done slightly better, I suppose, but at least it covers all areas. Now under here, you'll see where it's shy from this part of the wall. Well, this is behind the panel. The panel comes down there anyway. I just hope I haven't undercooked it down here, but because of the width I needed to get two of these out, I had to be very, very tight with it. So, as I was saying on the earlier part of the video about I didn't think I had enough to go around, but yeah, I believe I have. So it all goes up there. So now we'll get it stuck and get it put on. Right, first bit's on. A struggle. As you saw, I was doing a hell of a lot of rolling there. Even though I had adhesived the wall and the product itself, it still wasn't laying flat. I was getting a lot of air bubbles in it. Is this the same as when you wallpaper? Slap the wallpaper up, you'll get air bubbles. After a time the air bubbles will dissipate after 24 hours. I don't know. It might be because it's not gone tacky enough, or not gone dry enough, I should say. So therefore the two sides are not gelling together. But what I'll do is I'll give it a couple of minutes and then I'll go over it again with a roller. Hopefully that last 1% will disappear. But in general, it's looking good. Hard work though. I think when I do that wall I might need two people. One to line it up and the other one just to steady it, because it's very hard to do on your own in such a small area. I can put clamps on this wall though, for this side piece. But yeah, I'll give that a couple of minutes, then roll it out again and then see how it ends up. Right, 10 minutes later. Sorry about the lighting here. It's very dark in this boat. The sheet over it. You can see along the edge. You can see there's very minimum bubbles now. So it is going down quite well. It seems to be looking good. I will go over it again with the roller. Yeah, see there's a bit up there. Look. And go over it again with the roller. I know I've done 100% of the material and the wood with the adhesive, so there's no reason why it shouldn't stick. Now the window bit, just here, you can see this has been left quite long. The reason is there's a cap going on the back side of that window, which you will see from the outside. So I've left this bit long because I don't want to push the cap on there and then pull the material back. So I will trim it down slightly later on, because it's also got to have the same on this side. You can see where the material is just coming through there. Look. It's also got to have the same on this side, and the cap covers both sides. So what I would probably do is put something down this edge once I've got the material on. Could be a bit of masking tape or something like that, just right on the very edge, just to keep it in place. Put the cap on and then pull the masking tape out so it leaves the material underneath the capping. That's what I'll try first anyway. Right, So I'm happy how that's gone. And then what I'll do next is put this frame back on. Just keep it pinned there. Go and have a cup of tea and then come back and start on the rest of it. Right, that's done. I suppose I could put the face on. While everything falls apart. Temporary bit of sealing. Okay, I'll leave that for a while to go off and then we'll be good to go again. That first panel's on the wall with the vinyl, and I've put the front frame up, so now I'm going to have to cut out the rest of the material to suit the other walls. The two walls that I've got to do now is, one is a reverse of the one I've already done, so it's exactly the same shape, just on the opposite side, and then one straight thin bit of about 30 centimetres or so, coming down by the actual main wall where you walk into the boat. Because it's a tight area anyway, I probably won't film any of that, because once I'm in there the camera will be far too close to see what I'm doing anyway, so it'll be exactly what I've already done. What have we learnt? Well, number one, safety. If you're doing this, if you're using the glues that are the best ones for this, this one was specifically supplied by Kaya Spruce. They do say put a mask on, wear gloves. Gloves, well, I didn't get it all over me hands, so I'm not too worried about that. Mask, certainly put a mask on. That adhesive is really, really strong. As I say, I'm working in a small area. There's lack of airflow through there, and yeah, that does take your breath away when you're using it. But I carried on. Once I started, I carried on because it goes off so quick. But for here on in, when I'm using that adhesive, I will be putting a mask on, so I would suggest if you're doing this, put a mask on. Second point is, I was surprised it was getting air bubbles in it, even though I'd adhesive both the wall and the material itself. At first there were quite large air bubbles, and I thought, what's going on here, because I did a test piece as you saw at the beginning, and it was fine, but then again it was only a small piece. And as I was saying about when you're doing wallpapering, when I first worked with someone that was a professional wallpaperer, he put the wallpaper up and there was me trying to get out every little air bubble in the wallpaper, and he said, stop, you're wasting your time. And when I looked at his wall, then he'd done a complete wall as I'd done one drop, it was full of bubbles, and I said, well, that's not going to go down, is it? And he said, it will. Tomorrow morning you have a look at it. Well, I came in the next day and it was as flat as a pond. So that's probably the same sort of thing that's happening here. Although this material is thicker and it's got a good material back, furry back on it, I also noticed that it was stretching quite a bit, so I didn't want to cut any more off of it as I was working with it, because if it shrinks, even if I cut a couple of millimeters off, then obviously it's going to be a couple of millimeters too small. So I rolled it out as much as I could, then I left it for 10 minutes. I came back, there was a few bubbles, gave that another roll out, left it again another 10 minutes, came back, did exactly the same again. It's on there smooth, it's lovely, so I'm quite happy with that. So I shall carry on doing exactly the same as I've done on that wall with the other walls. With the panels that I've got down here behind me, obviously they're going to be done in here and on the table, so these are going to be a lot easier to do because they're on a flat surface, and obviously you've got gravity working on your side as well. So yeah, I'll get on with these now. I'll show you after I've finished where these two walls have been put up, and then we'll be on to the other bits. Back wall is now done. That's the hardest wall to do, and wow, that went on easy. And not a lot in the way of air bubbles as well, so very pleased with that one. So then the other three panels are done, the ones up on the wall, so it's just these two window pieces to do now. I have taken a piece of cloth and put it at each side of the woods and then put it in place, and it does fit. But you know as well as I do, life's not like that, so once I get this stuck up I might find it a bit tight, but you know, I don't want to take off any more wood from this and then leave gaps, so we'll go with it as it is and see how it turns out. But the rest went okay, so I'm fairly confident that this is going to be okay. Right, that's the side of one panel done. And you saw my indecision. I didn't know whether to put the cloth onto the board or put the board on the cloth. So I changed my mind halfway through and then got in a pickle because it was getting all stuck up. But oh well, learn by your mistakes. Seems to have gone alright, it's nice and flat. What I might do is leave this one now like this. Let's move it over there, bring the other one forward and do the other one to this stage, and then do the trimming and the back when I turn them over together. Might be easier that way. I think I'm probably over worrying about the air pockets that are forming, because the glue will go off in a second, then I can flatten it out anyway. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, turn it slightly, but that first one I did now is looking like sand dunes in the Sahara, so let's hope it goes down well. I've spent the best part of the last half hour rollering these out, and I'm happy that they've now gone down nice and smooth. I'm convinced though that I should have left a longer time in between coating them with the adhesive and putting them together, because the last two panels I did in the boat, they went on smoothly. The last two in fact didn't even bubble up. They were very good, and I believe that's because the time between putting the adhesive on the panelled walls and then putting the adhesive on the material, that coupled with the fact that it took me a long time to line them up before I actually stuck them onto the walls, gave the adhesive plenty of time to go off. So in future what I'll do is leave 10-15 minutes between adhesive going on and putting the material onto the wood. Seems to be the way. Now we need to get these back bits cut so that they can fold. Cut down close to the material. over there like that. Like so. Right, that's both of them done now around the edges. They've turned out okay, not brilliant but okay. Could have done better, yes. As with everything, whatever you do, whatever you achieve, you can always do better. And you get better with practice. I have got a lot of these to do. I've got the ceilings and the walls in the boat to do through the main cabin area. So hopefully each time I do it, it will be a lot easier, a lot quicker, and the results will be a lot better. Although these results are good, I mean, can't pick fault in them now. The only worry now is when I get them up onto the boat, will they fit into their areas? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Well, I'm pleased to say the first board fits in there nice. That's one weight off my mind. I did, while off camera, do the top, which is inside the shelf. Remember, I've got to put the shelf back that was there before with the perspex doors on it. And now go and get the other bit and see if that fits as well. And the second bit fits. So I'm as happy as Larry with that. I'm very pleased with the whole thing, to be honest with you. Obviously it's not fixed in yet, but yeah, the edge joints and everything, they all look good. Went far better than I expected to be honest. But if I come back and you can see the whole effect, obviously without the sliding doors there that go for the shelf. So just the ceiling to do now. Now that's going to be in the same material as the ceiling out here is going to be, so it's not going to be done yet. I haven't even got the material for that yet. And I've got to do the floor. So the floor, as you know, is just bare wood. So that's got to be covered. So once that's done, once the shelf's done, once the ceiling's done, that room's complete. Great. Well, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Went according to plan. Very happy with it. Thanks for watching and hope to see you on the next one.